Guys, last week I was talking to one of my students from UBB, and I think he signed up to UBB like 4 months back, but he hasn't been doing so well, like on and off. He messages me sometimes, and then suddenly he's off. And I tried to ping him, there is no response, and it has been going on like this. And he happened to respond to me yesterday, and I was asking him, "So, bro, how is it going with Upwork or getting any new jobs?" And this is what he told me, right? He said, "Nick, I lost motivation along the way and I took a small break." Well, actually, he didn't even say that he lost motivation. He just said that because of personal reasons, I'm taking a small break. I took a small break and I just got a job invite and I'm happy to take the project, right? And then I just asked him, like, if you don't mind, can you tell me what really happened? And then he said, "So honestly, I just lost a good client. I mean, he's a new freelancer. As a new freelancer, I think you understand like having a client is super important, right? And it kind of boosts you up and your moral confidence and getting a client on Upwork newly and losing such a client definitely has an effect on your confidence and how you do things, like proposals you send, your motivation, all these things because we are humans. And personally, myself, I am no exception to it, and it's okay. It's totally fine to be that way. It, and I do remember, like when I was starting on Upwork, I used to work for super low rates and really spending like 15 hours every day doing subtitling in English, and the pay was hardly anything. I think I did 3 or 4 projects like that before I decided this is not worth my time. I need to do something about it. So in today's video, I just wanted to share with you how I went on every time I felt demotivated, how I kept going, what really helped me to keep going. And I hope you can derive inspiration from this, or I would say try to see how your life fits. I'll share my screen. I hope you can see me and the screen. I don't want it to be super big. Anyway, let's try this way and see how it looks for you. And I will adapt as we move on. And another thing I just want to be upfront with you is like I'm not super focused on the quality of the video or editing and keeping catchy things to attract you. I'm more focused on providing value. So if you're really passionate about your Upwork journey or whatever you're doing on Upwork, then I'm sure you can find some value here. But if you're a kind of person who's after like this video doesn't look good, there is a lot of background noise, lighting is not good. Well, that's how it is because my number one motivation is definitely not to get top ranked on YouTube. Maybe it happens as a consequence. I'm not doing any marketing, I'm not doing any special video editing. I'm just shooting a live Zoom and then just sharing value. That's how it's going to be. And basically, because it takes less time, it costs less money, I can spend more time on providing value. You can even see that I'm just having a simple Google Docs. I'm talking to you. Basically, that's how I do. And that's how it is going to be unless something big happens. Anyway, let's see. So just to continue on that, I wrote down a few things that had really helped me along the way, not just on Upwork, I would say, overall, my journey starting as a freelancer and going on to scaling up into an agency and things like that, right? So we close some tabs. All right, so here we go. What I realize is like, I'll start with this point. You know, everyone keeps telling you, right, you need persistence, you need to be persistent. And you hear it and say, yeah, I know I have to be persistent, but I don't know how to. Right? And people say, just need to keep going. It's like, yeah, I tried, but one client goes south, one project goes south, or I send 20 proposals and there is no response. I'm like, I'm losing motivation. So What really helped me was to get really honest with myself and say, yes, I'm losing motivation, and maybe I'm not sending any proposals for 2 to 3 days, and being kind to myself. I know it sounds strange, but that's what I did. I'm like, okay, I lost motivation. I did my best. I sent my best proposals. Client hired someone else. Client ghosted on me, or this maybe the client scammed me. He just vanished from Upwork. These things happen, right? These happened to me. Like I literally lost, I think, $4,000 in a scam. Upwork did nothing. I lost the money and I did the work, right? So all these things are really deeply demotivating if you think about it. And I had so many chances to just give up on Upwork and close the profile for good and do something else. But when I look back, just the reason that I didn't give up and I kept pushing forward, no matter what, how many times bad things happened, at the end of the day, it all worked out, right? I think you can see my profile. I don't want to keep boasting about it. You can just go and see my profile and what kind of things I do and the ranking of the profile and things like that, right? But the story behind it is not that it became overnight. I got a great profile. No, there's so many losses along the way and things that demotivated me to the core, and I almost felt like giving up. But what really helped me going was this, like, this one sentence. I literally write this down on paper and put it in front of me on the laptop. I keep putting things on my laptop so that it's just a constant reminder for me, and it helps me to handle real situations like this. Married to the process and diverse. That's a bad spelling for diverse. Diverse from the results. So what I mean by that is just send applications or proposals for the sake of sending proposals. Do your best to send good proposals and just forget about, like I tell in UBB, there are two things you need to keep in mind when you're sending a proposal, right? You need to be one of the first to apply, and you need to tag all keywords and make the cover letter personalized to each client. If you're feeling lazy and if you're not applying in time, if you're just doing it up and down, like not focusing on the fundamentals, your proposals are not going to work anyway, and then you don't have any reason to complain because you're not doing the right thing, right? So if you take care of these two things and you're just sending good quality proposals, I'm not saying you need to send 100 proposals. Even if you send 5 proposals, they need to be really good and you need to send them on time. These two things matter a lot. And just forget about if the clients respond to you, right? If you focus on the process of sending, let's say, 5 good proposals every day for 3 months, I know it's a little bit of investment from connects. You need to manage that, but I can promise you, if you're making sure that your proposal is good and if you're making sure that you're sending it on time, definitely clients will respond. That's what happened to me. But if you're sending one proposal and you're beating your head, man, the client is not responding. The client has hired someone else. I'm not going to send any proposals for 1 week. Upwork doesn't work. It's a waste of my time. I think other freelancers are just lucky. It's not working for me. All these things your mind will tell. It told for me as well. But that's all excuses. And it's not going to help you in any way to build your profile on Upwork. So this is the number one advice that really helped me, not just on Upwork, on anything I do, married to the process. There is no shortcut. Shortcut is the process. That's what I say. That's what my mentor also told me. The shortcut is the process. As long as you are attached to the process, you focus on quality, you go focus on fundamentals, and you forget about the results will come. And don't start measuring, okay, next said 3 months, so I should get a client by 3 months. No, maybe it can take 4 months. What's wrong with that? Don't you have 4 months? Don't you have the patience to put in your best for 4 months so that it can reap results for 10 years to come? That's what is happening for me. The first 4 months or 6 months or 1 year on Upwork, if the way you put in the best decides the rest of your journey. And the rest is easy, right? Once you have established yourself, it's relatively easy to get clients. So, like I said, I think I mentioned this metric 97% of freelancers on Upwork just give up. Because of this, they start. The initial part is really hard. For every person, it's hard. Only those who persist, just focus on the process and forget the results, they go from 97% to 3%. This is the secret. There's nothing else. Anyone who was successful, who has been successful, not just on Upwork, on any field, same story. This is how nature works. I'm not telling you any secret. This is common sense, but it's really hard because our mind expects results immediately. And it takes hard work to focus on the process. So that's the number one thing I want to share with you. And the second point is your unique disposition, right? I was just talking to another student yesterday, and he said, I was looking at some of his proposals. Like I asked them to write down the proposals in a Google Docs and share with me every week. I review them with the students, giving them feedback so that they can continuously improve and improve the quality of their proposals. Like for a couple of weeks, I kept seeing that his proposals were really good, but he was not getting hired, and he was hardly sending 5 to 6 applications per week. So I asked him, like, what's the matter with you? You are doing really good. You're sending good proposals. Why are you not sending enough? Why are you not getting hired? And then he said, well, I try to follow whatever you shared in UBB, but it's not working for me. I think you can relate to this sentence, right? I tried this method, it's not working for me. I tried this diet, it's not working for me. I tried this fitness program, it's not working for me. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Basically, it's let's see one good image like this one, right? I hope you get the picture. You are very unique as a human being, has different situations in your life. You, man, my spelling sucks. You are a human being, right? I mean, I'm also a human being. The point is, all the courses, frameworks, coaching, which is recorded on video, and the templates and frameworks, all these are good as a fundamental, provided they build it from the fundamental, not just from the sales point of view. But still, it's really important to understand that you are a unique human being and you have a unique situation in life. Maybe you have a kid in 1 year old, and if the framework says you have to send 50 applications every day, you don't have the time to do it. So you end up saying, this is not working for me. Maybe it's a different situation. Well, let's say you're really struggling to pay for the connects. And if I say you need to send 100 proposals, it's not going to work for you, right? So you need to always think about, why is it not working for me? Like, what is my unique disposition? I always ask this question to myself. What is my unique disposition? Why is it not working for me? Instead of focusing on the framework itself, I try to understand what is avoiding me from getting the results. So in case of this student, I was like, after having a few words with him, slowly he shared with me that he goes to church, and he's very staunch follower, and he goes to church and he dedicates, that's his number one priority. He was very clear about it, and he spends considerable amount of time in the church. And we realized that most of the job posts come in during the time when he's in the church, right? So he's not able to apply, so he's not able to get hired. If you see, this has nothing to do with what I share in UBB or the framework. The framework is good. Just because you have a unique situation in your life and it's not applicable to you, it's not working. So I told him, well, there are a couple of things you have to do, you can do. You need to think about how you can apply when you're still in the church. Maybe you need to hire a virtual assistant, or maybe you should ask your friend to apply and do some kind of profit sharing with him. There are so many ways, and it's really hard for anyone to cover all this in a coaching program, right? Because this is very unique to you. And this is more like framework of thinking, I would say. Anytime, so I do personally, like anytime I'm stuck at any place in my life, let it be business or Upwork, anything. And if the framework is not working, I just go and see, okay, what is my unique disposition? Why is it not working for me? And then slowly I understand, okay, this is the main bottleneck. It has nothing to do with the process. So then what's the unique solution for it? And then go and find a solution. I hope I make myself clear. This is the whole idea of understanding your unique disposition and then trying to find a way to overcome it. And the third point, last point I want to share for today in this video is having the mindset of student versus expert. Maybe I will make a separate video going into the details of this. Just want to cover on the fundamentals. I myself consider myself to be a student. I'm not an expert in anything. Two things it helps. One, it doesn't make you proud or go your ego go big, and you can stay grounded, and nothing really affects you in a big way, right? If someone calls bullshit on you, you take it lightly because you yourself consider that you are not an expert, you are a student. And this gives you permission to make mistakes. Many people I see are afraid to make mistakes. They are afraid to fail. They are afraid to send bad proposals. They are afraid to say the wrong things. As long as you are not doing mistakes, you are not learning. If you're afraid to do mistakes, there is no way you can progress. And this really helped me, right? Just a small shift in mindset. I'm not good at anything. I make a lot of mistakes. And it's totally fine. I don't judge myself. Every time I make a mistake, I watch it, I learn from it, I do better mistakes next time. This worked for me on Upwork. I have a process, I made all the mistakes, found a way to work through. And as things keep changing, the way you operate keeps changing. For example, ChatGPT and AI is coming a big way. If you're still going to keep your original way of doing things and then complain it's not working, it's not going to work because things are changing. And when you have the mindset, have the curiosity to be open to what's happening, how you can improve your workflow, how you can make better mistakes, how you can refine your processes, basically shifting from I know everything to I don't know everything. And I'm learning as things, life presents, reality presents. If you can shift to this mindset, there is less guilt, it's less regret, and you have less judgment towards yourself and others. It's a reflection. And then you start making better decisions because you are less afraid and you will start seeing progress. You see, all along the way, I never focused on results because when you're focusing on results, you hurt yourself and you're afraid of failing because if you fail, you get bad results. But if you just focus on the process, and just focus on doing better every time you make a mistake, the results will come. It applies to Upwork and basically applies to anything you do in your life, business, relationships, whatever you want to do, fitness, dieting, anything, relations, everything. Right. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Let me know if it resonates with you. And if you have any feedback for me, like how I can do better, or if you have anything particular you want me to cover in the YouTube series, I'd be more than happy to do that. Thank you.